Hello, folks, and this is Kiki. Well, the Mabinogi video turned out to be a complete disaster. Guess learned can't do live commentary on Mabinogi. Well. Anyway, the game I'm playing now is Fez Hong Kong version. Basically, Fantasy Earth Zero was a game I was talking about like long time ago, and I finally figured out how to get it to work on for the Hong Kong server. It's surprisingly quite stable. I normally average about 300 to 400 ping, and it actually is playable. Just the lagging is more from the recording. But this is a test run, and it looks like it came out okay. Fantasy Earth Zero is sort of like a open, but yet not. I don't know how you'd put it. A war MMO that has some PvE on it. It's about 50v50 combat. In other words, on any given time, there can be up to 100 players on the field. As you can see, the maps are quite big. You build objects to go around things, and you have summons like that right there and whatnot. There's also 5 different classes. There's scouts, warriors, mages, a brawler, and a fencer. What I'm playing is a scout, of course, and basically, you guys are in for a real treat. You're gonna see me getting owned over and over and over again because everybody in HK server is level 30s and 40s and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna get owned a lot. In fact, that's something if anybody wants to try their video editing thing, they can do a Kinky owned account because there's gonna be quite a bit. But I'm not good enough at editing to do that. Anyway, I just figured I would just run around, see how lag goes at either point. There's this person here from Crusade. He knows I'm around, unfortunately. I think the HKs are either using aimbot or they're just really too good at observing. You'll see what I mean later on in a few other videos, because I mean, there's some times where it's like real obvious where I am, but there's other times it's how the heck do they know I'm there? And it looks like yeah, he spots me. What I'm doing now is I'm setting a punishing strike. He knows I'm around, so he's putting his feather on me. Like I said, it's pretty obvious where I was. It's nothing too bad. Now the other scout's hidden, so he's gonna try to PS him while I distract him. So I'm gonna go whip out my bow and arrow here and fire some things. Basic bow combo is poison shot, blaze shot, and it looks like I got rooted real quick. Oh, there you go. But yeah, blaze shot does like a little minor AoE, and it burns them for about, I don't know, 120 damage or whatever. But it's static burn, so you can just kind of do that. If you have a gun scout nearby, they can use oil shot, and it'll increase the damage even more. But unfortunately, I don't have a gun scout near me, so I can't do that. But as you can see, the poison shot, blaze shot combo sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. Warriors have this ability called Embolden, so all they have to do is just pretty much walk right at the target and just go Hulk smash on their face. As you can see down below, it's a quite active war game. People are spamming about OBS at D5. So you can see on the map to the left, upper left corner what's going on. It says there's a Wraith at D5. Okay, so we're not going to D5. We're gonna go ahead and head back to where we were, see if I can do something, because it looks like that side's sparsely populated compared to the other side. The Hong Kong server does things quite differently than the US server did. For one thing, is they like to do a ton of frontline battling. In fact, frontlines is one of their primary things above all else. You could just be by yourself and 2 seconds later have 20 guys on you. As you saw before, I had just that one guy, and then all of a sudden I had 4 or 5. I mean, they gather quick on you. So what I'm going to try to do is sneak past the lines. I doubt I'm going to be able to. Again, this is one of those obvious spot locations. As you can see, every time I take a step, there's a ripple in the water. And unfortunately, the other scout knocked down the mage, so my punishing strike didn't work. Thanks. But anyway. But yeah, as you take a step, you'll notice there's little ripples in the water. That's another way you can tell where a scout is, if they're hidden. Like I said, that's kind of one of the obvious ones. And looks like there's a warrior from before who pwned me. And see, once again, I was all of a sudden from one person, all of a sudden I'm having 4 or 5, and I'm having a 6th. See, and then you notice on the screen there's like 7 or 8, 9, 10. See, there's this all blob right on you. I don't get it with this server, but it's just like they just see one dude, and all of a sudden they'll just start piling on right onto that one dude. It's really irritating. But okay, looks like B7 is in trouble. As you can see there's 4 or 5 enemies. Also, I'll cover the heads-up display and later on. But this is just right now, like I said, just small recording test, see how it works, let you guys get a look at what the game's like. The HK server is actually somewhat English friendly, but not fully. There's some sort of English to HK player issue of HKs don't want obs built to a certain restriction, and unfortunately that's what loses them a lot of battles. But that's how they like to do things. They also don't really fight too well. They mostly stick to blob formations of 6 to 7 people. Their idea is just to rush at somebody, not to actually get into a fight. And I do have some footage of me actually getting to a one-on-one or 1 or 2 one-on-2 fights as well. But I mean, I'm basically in newbie gear here, right out of the newbie gate. Here's a scaffold. Anybody can build just one of these, and they're just like jump up and stuff. But as you can see here, we're getting the mob, and well, we're too far ahead. I didn't expect that one to turn, but it happened. But anyway. You see, as you can tell, as we're fighting here, all of a sudden there's that big, massive blob at. Oh, I can't read it too well here. I think it's E6 or something. Yeah, E6. Yeah, that whole mob is probably going to end up heading to my direction. I just have this feeling. But there's nothing we can do about it. And yeah, people like to do smiley faces. I have to say that the HKs have a lot more funny death comments than the US server did. I love the faces. This here is an eclipse. Basically, it's just like a small little annoying ob that you can stick up to a front line position. It doesn't have much health. It doesn't deal much territory damage, but it at least makes it to where the enemy can't build that area. And the HK server actually has less than the US server for some reason. The HKs only have 5, while the US server had 7. Also, yeah, see that mob I was telling you about? Yeah, we finally got here. Look at now they're all chasing me. Yep, now I'm broken. and yeah, there you go. It's unlocked, and now I get pwned. That's number 2. But yeah, you see what I mean? All that mob just went after one person. All of that. That was that's like 6 or 7 guys on one dude. And then they just run back up the line like speed bump. Just go back up. Yeah, no point going that direction no more. Yeah, the scouts have dagger skills, they have bow skills, and they have gun skills. So it depends upon what you like to do. The bow skills are more on an arc, so you can shoot them past rocks and a little further distance. The guns is more straight shot. Has a little bit of a smaller hitbox, but at the same time does a lot more damage. And then you have your just dagger skills, which this can disable an opponent, poison them, different things. You can use your gun here to kill an eclipse a lot quicker than you can with daggers, but I'm just more old fashioned with daggers. I think the highest you can do is like 45 or something without enhancements. Might be wrong, no. Yeah, up ahead is the enemy war workshop, which is a rebuildable building that'll summon giants for you, and giants are building killers. It looks like I'm about to get ran over again. See, our team's trying to make a push to get to those 2 obs there, but yeah, see, they're already reacted, they're filled in, I got spotted, so now I'm about to get owned again. Yeah, the person I was chasing after was somebody who has a assassination weapon. There's 5 nations and there's 5 ultimate weapons for each nation, and that was one character who had one. Versus Edria. I'm a Nets player. Yep, and got owned again. But yeah, the Nets nation weapon is I think it's like a giant red axe. The Yell Sword's weapon is like some sort of staff. Hordine's is a great sword. Gibandria is daggers, and Cicedria is a bow. Basically, the whole premise of the game is there's 5 warring factions. Oh, and here just to show you how many people are actually playing on this map. And there's this one guy. His name's Archer. I've been fighting him for off and on for a while. I've only been in this server for like 2 or 3 days, but I've been fighting him off and on. But yeah, basically, like I said, it's just you have 5 nations, and they're trying to take over the whole country or country, and kind of like they call the middle section like a ring of dominion or something. Got me about it, but basically most of the fighting takes place on the middle map. There is nation invading every once in a while, but considering the lack of building experience most people have here, I doubt there's going to be much. However, in the U.S. server, homeland invasions were quite often happening. Just like I said, not here. Another primary difference between the HK server and the American server is just general building, how they build things. The HKs like to build things backwards and then forwards, while the US server built forwards and then backwards. I don't understand why people would want to give the enemy all this extra territory, but that's uh, there's the class called the brawler is called a Cestus, but it does extra damage to buildings, and people just get over defensive about them. Okay, looks like I got a guy here. I'm gonna wait for him to pass, and I'll try to attack this ob. I don't think I'm gonna get to it. I'm pretty close to their keep, so I won't be able to do much damage. Hey, I gotta wait for him to go. Anyway, there's the viewing distance, if you're curious. Yeah, it looks like I was noticed. Somebody ran from the front lines just to get me. Man, there's gonna be at least 4 or 5 spawners who were mining at the main crystal who's gonna be chasing after me too. Yep, there they go. We got a scout, one-hander, warrior, something else here. But yeah, it looks like I'm about to get owned again. Gun scout can't aim. And of course I got power broken and whatever again. See, as you can tell, that's like I said. Oh, there's the archer, by the way. Yeah, see, once you get disarmed, you can't do much other than run. So all I'm doing now is just stalling and making sure they don't get to the front lines. But yeah, got owned again. It's getting near the end of the war, though. The offensive team definitely will win here. I mean, look at the big mass mob right in front of our keep. So we'll go from there. But anyway, more about the Cestus is, yeah, the Cestus has 2 stances. One is a defensive stance and one is an offensive stance. And they do the opposite effects on buildings. Like if you do a defensive stance, then that means you can heal obs, you can power up ATs and stuff like that. Versus if you are on offensive stance, that means you can burn buildings or you can power up ATs again to do that, or just various things. You can also siphon HP off of buildings as well, rather than healing the buildings themselves. Basically, kind of the opposite of each other. Like if you wanted to heal a building, you take 100 damage for each time. Versus if you want to heal off of a building, you only do like 100 damage or something, but you gain that 100 or something back. Oh, yeah. Let's see. The person I was waiting on was that scout there. If you're wondering what that little circle was about. But like I said, again, just one of those obvious things. You can't really see it on the screen, but there's like a little feather cursor. You can move the mouse around on the screen, and if you put your feather on an object, it'll tell you what it is. So that's a way you can tell where a scout is. Just unfortunately for me, I had a warrior who decided to go, I'm in charge. Oh well, later. And that's the end of the battle. So later, guys, for this part. Later.